trying to move. So when I do
Uh-huh.
that, I'm going to set aside a place that's going to be a studio and for photography, but also for podcasting and all that kind of shit. So I don't know. We'll see how it goes, and we'll see where we go, where I end up moving to. But
Yeah.
we'll see. That's the future, and that's the plan. It doesn't mean it's going to come to fruition. It just means that that's what I'd like to do. So
That's okay. I've been looking for another
yeah,
job. I'm not particularly fond of the one I have. Um,
yeah,
and let's face it, at our age, we're starting to get to the point where I need something that's career. I
yeah.
can't just keep jumping jobs, you know.
Yeah, I'm kind
So,
of at that position too. There was an opportunity that came up not too long ago. It was a warehouse manager, and yeah, I kind of wanted it. I was a little nervous, but I kind of wanted it. I didn't get it, but that was the kind of place where I would have. I think I probably would have retired out of there. You know. So
well,
anyway,
I'm thinking of taking the postal exam.
oh yeah, get to the post office.
Hey, it's a great job.
Yeah,
It, it,
yeah,
it's the kind of job you retire from. It's the kind of job you retire from with a pension.
yeah, yeah.
I mean, not that
Well, that's cool.
I'll probably die doing the job, but whatever.
Yeah,
It's a steady paycheck, and
yeah.
it says on average their employees earn about 72 grand a year in the first year. So 72
Jeez,
grand
nice.
sounds good to
Yeah,
me. I mean,
yeah, check that out.
granted you're gonna have to work your
What's
ass
that?
off.
You're
I said granted you're gonna have to work your ass off, especially around the holidays. But
yeah,
whatever. I've been working my ass off my whole life, and it ain't gotten me shit.
yeah. I know. Yeah, me too. So,
I told my
um,
fiance, I told her I'm going to become a Democrat and run for office because it seems like they don't really have to do anything except vote themselves raises every year.
yeah, yeah. Well, they don't do anything. That's the thing.
Well,
All they do is bitch and
Republic,
complain, and
Republicans either, but I could certainly manipulate my way into becoming a Democrat candidate. I mean, it seems to be easy enough. You just gotta say all the right things.
yeah, you don't have to actually have any background or any kind of history. You just have to um, look good and smile a lot and tell people what they want to hear about how you're going
That
to get them how you're going to get them free healthcare and how you're going to get them free college and how you're going to get them all this free stuff and you have no idea how you're going to do it because the country's on the verge of freaking bankruptcy, but it makes them happy.
I was gonna say from all reports I've been reading, the our economy, well, it's not the greatest it's ever been, as a certain person would have us believe. It's certainly in one of the best places it's ever been.
If you check out
I read this through the BBC, which is
national
a liberal report.
national our national debt is like let's see if I can find it now. National debt to GDP. There it is. That's what I wanted to see. National debt. You know that Japan's national debt to GDP is like over 112%. That means they owe more than they could possibly make. I mean, produce. So I'm trying to find what our I can't my internet's kind of fucked up because I'm out in the garage, but I don't know. Well, anyway,
Well,
let's see where we are.
technically, didn't our debt go down when the China devalued their money?
Well, okay, you see, there's a lot of stuff going on. All data, you have to interpret all of it. So the thing about I'd heard that the Chinese were artificially manipulating their currency, and that was one of the problems. So they were inflating it, so everybody was thinking that their economy was growing at some ungodly rate, and it really wasn't. So so even then, even then with there's so much crap, there's so much data and so much shit going on that you couldn't even really, you can't really even get a good grasp on it. Okay, so I'm seeing a So where is this? Trading economics. I don't even know if this is accurate, but this is just where we go. Um, it's saying that the GDP. Okay, so around 2010, it was 91.2% GDP. That's what our national debt was. That's a lot. Now they're
That
claiming it's 106.1. Now I'm not sure if that's, well, like I said, I don't know if that's even correct. But our national debt is extraordinarily high. When they keep raising, the debt ceiling, that
yeah,
means that's a sign. That means they ran out of money, and they gotta borrow more and more. It's like, well, why do you, and they do this like every 6 months. It's like, well, how are you doing that? And why? Where is this money coming from? When is this going to end? When is it? It's not what's the word? It's not status quo, but it's not the standard operating procedure to continually raise. When you have a debt ceiling, there's a reason for it, because we don't
yeah,
want you to keep driving us into the fucking ground. But they just keep, well, we'll just raise the debt ceiling. We're just gonna raise it again. We're just gonna raise it. And it's like every 6 months. It's not like every 5 6 years. Or, oh my God, there was a natural disaster, or, oh, we're in the middle of a war, or we're starting a there's a major global conflict going on, like World War I, World War II. I can understand that. I can understand that. Hey, we're in the middle of freaking World War I. We have to raise the debt ceiling because we have to arm ourselves. Okay, that
right.
makes sense. But we're not doing that. That's not what's going on. And they just keep raising the debt ceiling. Yeah, that's another thing too. There's been, now, of course, I don't take anybody's opinion on anything. It's just what I see, and what if I
Right.
see it
No,
and it seems like it's reasonable. Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Because, like we talked before, you can't constantly back check everybody. It's not practical. But one of the things that I've heard about is that they're saying that the jobs are not um, like jobs that you're going to retire out of. Everybody said, oh, okay, well, the unemployment rate is extremely low. Yeah, it is, and that's good. Don't get me wrong, that is a good thing. But the problem is that the quality of a lot of the jobs is not that great. Now,
well, that's
yeah, yeah. See, a lot of the work that I do generally doesn't get paid a whole hell of a lot until you're there for a while, and then you start taking over the shop, and then you move into a supervisor position. Then you start getting paid. Problem is the starting wages have not only they've stagnated since when I started that job, the one that I got unceremoniously relieved from. That would have been, see, it's been 3 years since I got out of there, and it was 6 years there, so it was 9 to 10 years, and the job and the wages have not um, um, increased.
well.
So, eh.
Yeah. I don't know what idiot thought raising minimum wage to $4 over 5 years was a good idea, but you talk about an economy destroying fucking idea.
Well, yeah. There's another there's another part to that. Um, yeah, I don't think they understand what's going on with that, and I don't think that was the correct decision. I think they should have attacked it in another way. And the reason why is because if you go back into the 50s and 60s, a single or a one man would work a 40-hour job, and he would support a family of four, buy a
Right.
house, and buy a car, and
Mm-hmm.
retire out of there. Okay, no, that doesn't work anymore. It is it's basically accepted that women have to work, and
Mm-hmm.
not single women, married women.
No, no, no.
Yeah, with a family. Yeah, it's ridiculous.
It's a two-person income, and even then, you're at this point, you're even lucky if you can do it on that.
Yeah, and and so then we ask the other question. Okay, so who's raising the kids? The state is raising the kids. The
Yeah.
state's raising the kids because they're hanging out in schools. When my older son was in elementary school, I went in there and I was talking to the teacher, and they were doing the No Child Left Behind thing, and she was a career teacher, and she was like, "This is freaking ridiculous. It makes no sense." And I was talking to her about what they were teaching. They were teaching exactly three things. They were teaching literature, reading. I don't like to say reading, writing, arithmetic because that's friggin' pop culture, but reading. So they were teaching literature. They were teaching writing, and they were teaching math, and that's what they were doing. And I go, okay, well, what's up with science? Oh, we're not teaching that. You're not teaching science? No, because we don't have the time. Well, the only thing we're doing is teaching in order to get them to pass the tests.
Yeah,
And I'm like,
minimum basic skills, minimum
yeah,
basic education.
yeah, yeah. They're required to do it, but they're not. See, we used to teach our own kids. You know.
Yeah.
Yeah, like had my parents not split up, I'm sure that I probably would have been a mechanic or some kind of a machinist, because my father, that's what he did, and he knew it. And I was talking the other day to my mom and about how he should have taught, and when he died, all that knowledge just vaporized, and he never
Right.
taught me that. He taught me a few things, and I got a lot of interesting information out of him. But now I didn't want to be a mechanic or a machinist, but it would have been nice to be able to, have acquired some of those skills, that I could have maybe parlayed into something else, but I didn't. I wasn't able to, and because we used to teach our kids our own. It used to be going to school was not everybody did that. You know.
Oh yeah, it was a privilege at one point.
Yeah, a lot of times. Well, yeah. Well, a lot of times it became a privilege because if you wanted to get out of the caste system that we had there, if you were a baker, if your dad was a baker, if your father was a baker, you were a baker.
Baker,
If
yeah.
if your father was a mechanic, you were a mechanic. If he was a welder, you were a welder. That's what would happen, because that's what he knew, and that's what he was going to teach you, because that's what he had. That's what he knew how to teach. If you wanted to get out of there, you had to have somebody else teach you. You had to find somebody to teach you something else.
Yeah, I recently had a chance to go back and talk to that the guy I worked for like 20 some odd years. When I was doing the termite work,
Oh yeah,
and I actually thanked him because the skills he taught me are lifetime skills.
yeah,
I can build a house
yeah,
from the ground up because of skills I learned with him.
yeah. Well, it was I always tell this story. It seems really um what's the word it seems almost insignificant, but when you look at it, it's actually pretty important. I'm working at that last job I was at, and there was this kid who comes in, and this kid is 19. He's out of high school. I don't know if he had a father. I don't know. Right? He comes in here. He comes into this shop, and what we're doing in that shop is tearing down commercial air conditioning units. And the primary tool that we used was a power drill. Well, it wasn't a power drill. Technically, it was a nut driver, but that's what we used for disassembly and assembly. That was like 99% of what we were doing was that particular tool.
Mm-hmm.
So anyway, the kid, he's having some trouble, and I'm teaching the kid. I'm running him through his first unit, and I realize very quickly he has no idea how to handle this tool at all. It seems simple to me. It seemed very simple, but I realized as I'm sitting there with this kid, that's me. My father was a mechanic. He taught me all that. But
Right.
this guy, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. So I look at the kid and I go, "Do you know how to use this? Do you know how to use this tool?" And he looks at me like a deer in the headlights, and he goes, no." And I go, okay, no sweat. So I gave him the crash course. It took me 5 minutes to teach him
Right.
all the, righty tighty, lefty loosey, this for torque control, reversible speed, variable speed, where you get your batteries, all that shit. It took me 5 minutes. And then I sent him on his way, and I was in. He was there for probably a month or two. It wasn't there. Well, I had a very fast turnover at that place. But when this kid walked out of there in 5 minutes, I had taught him a life skill that he will probably be using if he's doing any kind of manual labor. He'll be using that. Every time he thinks righty tighty lefty loosey, well, he'll be thinking about me because I taught him that.
Thinking of skills I passed along. Eddie that used to live across the way from me when I lived in the mobile home park there.
Yeah, the comedian.
Yeah. He actually came to me a couple of years ago and thanked me for teaching him how to play guitar.
Okay,
and,
cool.
And to me, the amount of knowledge I passed on was very minimal. He was very motivated.